Alrighty, it is currently 8:30 a.m. I've just returned from the feeding grounds, and what we did managed to get quite the orange striping across the eastern horizon. But something that was quite interesting for me this morning while I was out at the feeding grounds is the factor that the cat that I commonly refer to as Puff, back in here, for the first time ever, I actually got up close enough to where I put out my hand, and it actually came up and sniffed my hand real quick, and then of course backed away a little bit. So that was really cool. Yeah, and I also noticed something pertaining to how it eats, that it will only take about, a couple of pieces of food, and I allowed him or her to eat out of the main feeding bowl, the bowl that I take out there. And evidence to show that Pup was once upon a time a house cat. At least that's what I am sensing, as it kind of just picks and nibbles like one or two pieces of cat food at a time, rather than like many of these cats that will actually, just dive right in and do their crunching and munching. And as you can see, yeah, the winds are getting very gusty out here. Very cold winds. Man, my hands froze up. I didn't wear any gloves out there this morning. I figured, yeah, I'll just go ahead and, just get out there, do what I had, and here I was out there for quite a few minutes. But as you can see, the location of the glow is now like more of your northeast direction. And, well, slowly, I guess, being covered up with the overcast conditions that we are experiencing. I was not planning on doing any recording or further recording this morning, but it was such a thrill to have Puff actually come up like that. We've interacted all for what, 2 years now, and the cat is finally acclimating itself to me, which is very strange, highly unusual, but quite gratifying altogether. And ironically, she, I've never been able to tell because I haven't been able to see under its tail. But I've often have wanted and have tried to get closer to that cat. And this morning, like I said, it was just amazing that it actually allowed me, or allowed itself to actually come up and sniff the back of my hand real quick. I just, these cats continue to amaze me in many different ways. The birds are a little upset with me because I did not provide anything for them this morning, but once again, as stated in previous content, there's so much bird seed on the ground out there that they can always pick through that. And of course, I have not bought any peanuts and provided those to the blue jays. And so, yeah, I did not and have not seen any blue jays nor any signs of them this morning. But of course, while I was out there, man, it was all about hearing those crows cawing. And yeah, and currently I've got some sparrows in the bush down here once again. And I swear that when they hear me talk, and they all come fluttering about. See if we can possibly capture them. Once again, you know, poor recording. There we go. Poor recording, of course, through the screen meshing of the bedroom window. And, you know, I swear, you know, they hear me talking. They come about. You know, it's... I just love the experiences that I have. I'm telling you what. And, you know, anybody can think whatever they want. You know, it's... I just... All you gotta do is watch my content. And you can see it all. And of course, if you want to be judgmental, you can judge for yourselves over this, that, and the other thing. But I'm still uploading the last of yesterday's time out in the woods with this half-hour long video, or 20 minutes long, whatever it is. And then, of course, after that, as you might already know or have seen, my sky observations. And then we can go ahead and get today's recordings on their way to this pathetic platform, if you will. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better today after many, many days. But of course, that is always subject to change, just like anything else, including that manufactured weather. And apparently we did get some precipitation last night. I took notice of how this side of the building out here was quite wet in spots to where it has not dried through the winds. Once again, very frigid winds, and to get that much colder, I do believe. Of course, we're to have quite a significant drop in temperature anyways, in comparison to yesterday. So okay, once again, so I have not provided any seed out at the base of the tree or within the feeding tree. And here we have, probably cannot see them too well, but there's some mourning doves that just flew up here, once again, into the lawn. So, you know, they're picking through this, that, and the other, and wandering up the path to the feeding grounds. That's so wild, because now, you know, not only do I go up the path, but the cats take the path. We do have a blue jay that came up back here. But the deer, I've noticed the deer been taking the path. Yeah, I've got a few mourning doves that's coming up back here. But I need to end this right directly so I can finish getting today's content posted and just kind of kick back and take the day as it is. There's a mourning dove someplace, and yeah, I think right here, having issues. Yeah, right up in there. There's a mourning dove. And once again, as stated, plenty of seed down here on the ground. And we got a cleanup crew out here, including that of at least one blue jay, and of course the mourning doves. So, you know, a lot of activity that's kicking off out here, and that is because of the change of weather scenario. They can feel whatever coming on. Not sure what this is right here. That's showing up kind of whitish. Oh, that's a cat. Okay. Of course, with the birds that's coming in, of course, it's going to attract the attention of the cats, unfortunately. But this one's moving off now. That's a good thing. So, enough yakety schmackety. Blah, blah, blah. We'll go ahead and look at this orange coloration back here once again, and I will pan back and yet another recording. So there we have it, people. And as always, take care. Have yourselves a great one. Thank you for watching. Skywise out. 11:30 a.m. on this Friday morning, February 20th, 2026. I just thought to provide a bit of a weather update as our mix, I guess it's a mixture of precipitations is happening. At least we've got light flurries that's happening right now. The winds are very gusty. I'm not going to step out as I am not dressed for the occasion, but you can see we've got quite a little bit of moisture here on the floorboards of the balcony. I'll probably head on out to the woods just to check on the situation with the cats. Possibly, do some relocating of their feeding and watering bowls. And just to check on the overall situation out there. And I did have an opportunity not too long ago before this began to occur, and I feel kind of bad. I had spotted Blackjack the squirrel within the crotch of the beating tree, searching around for any morsels, I guess. And there was also bird activity that was occurring. Once again, had an opportunity to record one of the cardinals, as well as, more other varieties of birds, such as the blue jays. If it was not for the winds, I would probably go ahead and apply some seed out there, but, with this stuff coming down, it's hard to tell whether it would get covered up. But then again, with these winds that we are starting to, well, we've been experiencing the winds, but they're really starting to ramp up out here. And of course, it just never fails anymore. It's just the complete white out skies that provides the precipitations, whether liquid or frozen. This stuff does not come down like it used to, from what I remember pertaining to actual cloud formations. It's just this yuck, right? But I won't go any further, as I am currently still in the uploading process of this morning's first recording, and I have subsequently yet another one after that, and then this one. And I stated that I probably would not be recording any further after that second recording this morning, but now that this has come about once again, I decided to provide a bit of a weather update for what we are experiencing here in our neck of the woods. So on that note, this is your friendly pilot, Captain Morgan, signing off, aka Skywise. OWT, out we go. And soon, yeah, out we shall go. Brr. Very cold. Later, gang. Have yourselves a great one. Take care. Thank you for watching. Well, here we are back once again as to provide yet another update at this hour of 12:20 p.m. on this Friday now afternoon, February 20th, 2026. I just returned from being out in the woods, providing water and food for the cats once again. And Well, it has gotten to the point now to where we are actually getting accumulation, of which I'm not sure if they were actually calling for any accumulation whatsoever today or not. The last that I had heard, it wasn't until Sunday, this coming up Sunday, that we were to actually have accumulation. Now then, that is not actually the premise for this recording, as with the thumbnail that I have for this video, I want to show you the results of what I described in yesterday's recording, to where I explained the factor of the stink bug and how it had months back, or well, quite some time ago, how one had gotten crushed in between my knees while sleeping one night and subsequently caused a burning reaction because of its caustic innards, and which I still have a scar. Once again, just kind of rehashing that topic. But approximately 5 nights ago now, I woke up to the stench. Well, I can't really say I woke up because of sleep issues that I've been reporting on up until last night, basically, to where I finally got somewhat decent sleep. But approximately 5 nights ago, there was all of a sudden the stench of a stink bug, and later on I started feeling the burning that it was occurring on the side of my neck, and I stated that you know, I now have a scar, but it's not really a scar as of yet. It is still quite the burn, and I will go ahead, and even though I do not like showing myself on camera, I am going to go ahead and show you exactly what happens through the caustic, and I don't know if it's toxic at all, but very caustic juices or what have you from the stink bug, and the result of the burns that occur. And this actually looks like a hickey on my neck, and so we'll go ahead and show you that right quick. And then this, I do believe, will be the final recording of this day. Alright, so once again, I do not like really showing my face, especially this old man's face that I've gained, especially ever since I've lost 60 pounds in weight. But let's go ahead, and I am going to zoom in, and we're going to get right up tight close to my neck here. And you can see this. That is the result of a stink bug burn, as apparently it got in between me and the pillow, and there we have it. And this is now 5 days old, and let me tell you what, it is very sensitive. Yeah, it does not feel good at all, and it's even got, you know, skin that's peeling away from it right now. But that is the result of a stink bug burn. And so now, seeing that, we'll go ahead and leave off with once again another view as an update, or view outside as an update and as an ending to this recording. Man, it's just so nasty out here. And then well, that's a underground mole tunnel right here, which I showed before. And not only is there a slight roar to the winds, but once again, above the sounds of the wind, I am hearing the sounds of jet aircraft. Okay, so yeah, take it as you will, but once again, this is all manufactured weather, people, regardless of what you might think. And of course, you know, oh yeah, let's disclose UFOs and UAPs and possibly aliens or what have you. Don't get your hopes up too high. No, they really need to disclose the realities. The government needs to come clean with what corporations that is involved, all of them that is involved in this mass manipulation globally of the weather scenarios today. They need to take responsibilities for all the injuries and deaths pertaining to this kind of nonsense, right? And and I really quickly will mention this as well, is the factor that, well, once upon a time, that concept of DEW, or otherwise direct energy weapons, was just another conspiracy theory. But, well, that's not the case anymore, is it? Because now they're talking about how they've implemented that into war, their little war scenarios and drama, right? Okay, so yeah, continue demonizing those so-called theorists out there when actually, when proven correct, they should be considered as conspiracy factualists. People, you need to take back the power. Supposedly, this is supposed to be a country of the people, not of the government and the billionaire elites, okay? And on that last note, stay away from stink bugs. Man, they're a little bit more dangerous than what you might think. And by the way, notice the shape of the back of the stink bug. Quite ironic how it's quite similar to that patriotic shield. Just an observation. So we shall leave it at that. Take care. Have yourselves a great one. Skywise out.